Microsoft Flight Simulator. Revengeance, a long-running crackpot of an air combat game where you play as a mute sociopath who uses his immunity to gravitational force to wage war on behalf of the Blue Helmets. Seriously, if my high school recruiter sees this game in my library and my 1.5 GPA, he's gonna make a move. In Ace Combat 7, the leading world superpower, Osea, retaliates after a series of UAV strikes by the Kingdom of Erusia, when Erusia had just finished off a battle with its entire continent and took the space elevator. Now you, an Osean pilot, just needs to finish off Erusia after a meteor strike had taken out most of its authority a while back, leaving its military disorganized and scattered. Oh yeah, there's also Erusia's radiation-poisoned 55-year-old Red Baron, look out for him. And also Erusia's 2 massive unmanned flying UAV superweapons with immortal force fields, and also the 1-to-30 aircraft ratio in their favor, and the container-launched stealth drones, and the Bitcoin assassins, and the submarine aircraft carrier hybrid with a modestly unhinged crew of hololive addict terrorists whose actions are not applicable on international law. Fortunately, you have an array of very stupid mountable weaponry that should not be allowed to fly. We're talking railguns and death rays on jets that bounce off of collisions and spontaneously rematerialize fired missiles. Civilians will be harmed as collateral. What did you expect? Hello, aspiring war criminals. I am Colonel 𝖘𝖆𝖑𝖛𝖆𝖙𝖎𝖔𝖓, and today I will be your host for approximately 4 missions. Yeah, that was a bomb. You should probably go check that out. You play as Trigger, some Osean fresh meat meant to round out the Mage Squadron who pulls up in a Generation 7 CFA-44 Nosferatu, who then pulls bone-crushing turns constantly and starts leveling entire bomber formations with omnidirectional cluster missiles. I think this guy might be dangerous. Anyways, that's done, and we only lost like 7 aircraft carriers in the first battle of the conflict, so it's probably fine. Immediately after, we begin a bombing campaign on radar vehicles in an airbase in a suburban town. Any aircraft shot down could land on civilians though, so you need to use your strongest technique as a pilot, a real superpower to those who fly. Moral decoupling. After blowing up, Jesus Christ, it's the unmatched power of the sun, officer. Anyways, Erusia sends out their drones to kill you, but that's stopped by you shooting at them so that they die.
You shoot, someone gets killed. The guys in charge take care of the rest.
Yeah, good luck with that paperwork. Hey guys, good work on obliterating that neutral country for us, real swell of you pals. We got more drones over in Schoppenberg, so we gotta go blow those guys up. Also, these drones in particular were probably launched by an arsenal bird, which are these giant, essentially unkillable flying carriers we made stronger than the air power of any country. Then they hacked into them and we lost them all instantly. That's okay, we're gonna find out how to solve that soon, I think.
Trigger, time to show the other guys that we get wet wild and do dirty, dirty things.
Hey guys, it's me, AWACS Skykeeper. I wasn't paying attention to my big, goofy, giant AWACS radar. The arsenal or the... You're going to die.
Alright, living personifications of check engine lights decided to get anywhere close to my 5G tower. Rafflecopters deployed.
Anyways, you then decide to fight it for some reason, but reconsider that notion when 5 people get eviscerated. Now running away, we have to provide...
My status is fine.
I can't shake it off. It's matching me move for move. He's a predator. Get eaten. Somebody! Support!
Right, so that space elevator is the world's biggest production tower of Soylent, which provides an infinite supply of phytoestrogens to the Erusian military. So we're gonna go there to go rescue the former president Harling, see if he knows anything about it. Hey, why is your name Trigger again? Anyways, we get to the space elevator by flying through a schizophrenic path of radar sites because Project ACES simply hates you specifically. There is no advantage to staying undetected. After clearing out... Alright, so... I'm a little bit retarded. We then have to provide cover for Sea Goblin, which is an elite landing force. Well, I mean, the president isn't dead, so you get him onto the Osprey, and the colonel has a word with you. You're welcome, Johnson. The other branches start trying to shoot down the soy factory, but they're intercepted by drones, which do it so that they don't have to eat real food. And would you look at that, there's a drone right next to Harling trying to bait out the missile. I'm sure it'll be okay.
Base 2, base 2.
Alright, I would like to plead, well, it was really funny. Now that I killed the president, Osea very reasonably decides to omit Trigger's pilot license. So he's sent to Zapland, which is a prison airbase hybrid where they give the convicts military jets. Your first mission in the 444th Penal Base Squadron is to shoot down bombers again. See, they put down a dummy runway with balloon planes to distract Aruja, but had the genius idea of putting a real airfield next to it, which is also getting bombed. You, alongside other detained Funko Pop smugglers, are sent out to place eviction notices for their souls out of their bodies. Meet the guys. You got a based gambling enjoyer, trope guy who snorts information, tabloid, whoever this is, and Count. Get used to Count. He will be in every subsequent mission. I mean, there's also Band Dog. Yeah, Anyways, where were we? I see. I'm just gonna... Anyways, we then get a close-up for that old guy that shot down Pop Brownie or whoever.
What is a nation? Can we actually see the physical lines that divide one from another?
Oh god, not again! Mr. X's real name is... I'm not reading that, and he's supported by a hand-picked auxiliary unit of 4 of Aruja's finest Hyperboreans. Also in the same cutscene, somehow, his granddaughters meet the Princess of Aruja and her PNG dog. He's not moving. Hello, convicts, it's me, esteemed General 𝖘𝖆𝖑𝖛𝖆𝖙 Crimes Against Humanity, and I've got some certainly attainable missions not designed to kill you and activate our insurance. Alright, so you're gonna fly into their anti-aircraft guns and report back to us how the lead tastes. Welcome to a reconnaissance mission. I say reconnaissance in the Ubisoft sort of way. You need to flatten 2 gigantic military bases and an airfield in 15 minutes. Anything less and you fail. So anyways, you get to and Aruja starts deploying drones while I'm in an A-10, so in my pure air-to-ground irritable male syndrome rage, I sublimate every warehouse into a fine mist. And then, naturally, I fly into a tunnel 13 times to tenderize the eardrums of the guys that think they can escape me. Now, once I'm done with that, I start gunning down entire drone formations with unguided rockets because I am God. Alright, I'm getting scared of you guys now. So what I'm gonna make you do is fly through the 𝖘𝖆𝖏 Mountains in a thunderstorm while fighting anti-air in an aircraft and providing support for units that actually matter. Please don't survive. Haters be like, you're racist. Yeah, I know, and I'm gonna win. Anyway, shortly the plugs pull up to the function with that astral space 𝖃, and they got drones. Where did he go? So now you need to shoot down the drones. Ow! Eventually you shoot down all the drones and... Who?
Hey, it's me again, the old guy. I don't know why I'm here. I'm just gonna kill you. Alright, so listen here. Seriously, what is your problem?
The throne embrace, the fear warrants of a deadly fate. You ever your children separate by time. Sonic goddamn crap. Definitely divine intervention.
You know what, I'm just gonna go. You and your friends can scurry off to clown college. God, I hate marginalized groups.
Wait, what was that last part? I wasn't listening. Alright, well it seems some of you aren't dead, so I'll let you blow off steam through the conduit of civilian oil contractors.
Destroy everything in sight.
They don't look like military. Do you look anything like military?
He meant like, are we killing I don't care. Apparently because you suck at destroying targets that are so volatile, they'd probably explode themselves. You need to search for all the tankers you missed, and Count goes staring at my radar and trolling. How much better does this sound in Japanese? So you go into the dust storm, irreparably clogging and damaging your engine, but whatever, and hunt down the wall.
No, jet fuel doesn't ignite that easily. That was standard gasoline.
I love when gasoline does that. Okay, so since you guys have an annoying predisposition to dying like we want you to, we're just gonna do actual missions now. Welcome to the Waiapola Mountains. Today I will be flying my geographically ambiguous vehicle not relating to any real-world country. In this one, you need to disable the satellite launch missiles by destroying the radar sites. Also, don't stay above the clouds for very long. Just trust me on that.
Picked up a bunch of intel.
I'm not sure you understand what you're saying, Spare Six.
I'll let you in on it when we're home, Band Dog.
I think you might be right.
There's allies here, so congratulate us. Hello! Okay. Aruja figured out they can just use the fact that they hacked most of our satellites to fake as us, and also the Arsenal bird is firing missiles. Oh, that's what that is. Anyway, so you use your Star Wars lasers to kill everyone until there's one enemy left, and Count goes after, and it's full band. Band Dog tagged full band as the enemy. Why is this? Right, so he's dead through no fault of my own. I'm gonna go fake my death and flee to Argentina. If Count and the mute guy help me, I'm letting them back into the actual military. In this bit, you know what, I'm just gonna...
Not that it was a load worth protecting.
In this mission, you have your missiles and their SAM sites consummate their marriage. I know, the video is becoming one giant iFunny watermark. I'm just gonna skip ahead.
It closed in fast.
So, new unknown Erusian craft show. No, I'm not doing this. Come on, yeah! Hey, what's going on here? Please, just take him. Now we're in the new LRSSG squadron with a bunch of new characters, with your AWACS being the almighty lunchcaster, lord of sandwiches, and connoisseur of food that technically may not exist. Us 9 morons are firstly sent to a long-range mission where you need to cripple the Erusian naval power, with bases maintained by civilians, but as you may have caught on, we don't really care about that anymore. Thank you, Tom Cruise. I spent 5 hours working on that. So here's the deal. There was once this giant field of anti-asteroid cannons that Erusia started to shoot at us once, but we solved that with a mute sociopath who solved all of our problems. You're gonna repair one of those railguns and shoot down a Microsoft SAM plane, and I'm gonna go embezzle money doodles. Now you get to it and have to provide air support for 3 armies, getting their bogos pitted by 20 of each enemy type, but not too hard because of the sex offender registry bomber pilots able to destroy the cannon with 1 run. So when they show up, drop whatever you're doing and kill them. Also, don't forget the Sukhois and the MiGs and the A-10s and the angry helicopters.
Jesus Hamburglar Christ, why are you guys all the way in the projects? I guess me and the homies will just have to get in trouble with the Hague again.
Anyways, the targeting for the railgun gets foobarred, but then the ground crew realizes they can just use their eyes to see things. Now to do that, you need to...
Listen, attack the central... Fire! Hit, damn it!
How that 𝖘𝖆𝖑𝖛𝖆 how am I gonna spread information in the internet now? You all need to take a chill pill. That's why people speak formalities.
Oh hey, I didn't see you there. I was too busy in front of your house. Look out the window. As you can see, this music is really good. Everyone likes it. Of course, they took away the strap for this mission, and your special weapon is now just targeting the marked missile silos for an Obama drone strike. So you do that until you realize you suck and missed a few RBMs, so you shoot them down. You know, you take barely any damage for a nuke going off in your face, and at least they don't have any more WMDs. I think. Google, what's the notification?
One new message from Alicorn Captain Matthias Torres. I am going to nuke 1 million people.
Whoa. Yeah, there's DLC missions in this game if you didn't know. Haphazardly placed here chronologically because it wouldn't make sense otherwise. Sus Among Us, sus emergency meeting. I'm trying really hard here, man. Hey, it's me, Brigadier General 𝖘𝖆𝖑𝖛𝖆 Crimes Against Humanity. No, not the one from the beginning of the video. This is the other one OC has. There's at least 2 of them. Now, there's this giant submarine that launches jets from it. It has force fields and 3 giant railguns. Erusia has, I'm pretty sure it was built in a ceasefire, but they paid me like a lot of money, see? That's not the point. It was stuck at the bottom of the ocean for 2 years, and everyone on board went completely freaking nuts. So Erusia's just gonna send them out again for some reason? Now what you're going to do is perform a hostile takeover with the justification of reports of questionable authenticity that they have WMDs.
It's a requiem. The West has fallen. We will make it rise.
So you get to it, and it's a 4v36 because the reinforcements are late, I guess. They were just puffing paint cans. There is nothing to ruin this fight. No drones, no land units, and no scorgles at all. Just you, them, and your AIM-120 radar-guided missiles to pitbull onto civilian airliners. Eventually, reinforcements show up with ESM to enhance your missiles' turning, speed, and damage. What technology allows for this? Cracked. Back alley deals, you know. Eventually, 2 angry little people show up, blow up an enemy fighter, and then start gunning for you specifically then on. Welcome to Borderlands 3. Scream had the brilliant idea of fighting me in ESM range and immediately died.
Launch the jets! The block button isn't enough! I want him dead!
Wait.
All of these checkpoints to impress us sobriety hitters. Their reckoning will come.
Captain, don't you see?
He walked all over it with his dirty boots over the crisp white sheets of my bed that I had just made. Gnomes are real. Total gnome death. Billions must wear funny pointed hats.
So is that satire or an esoteric dog whistle? No, 3rd option, ingenuity through brain damage. He probably didn't get enough oxygen. At birth or because he was underwater? It doesn't matter. So as it turns out, while you were doing that, the 5 knots per hour submarine was able to escape your Mach 1.8 fighter jet. Let's ask Google exactly how. Oh, okay. Right, so we have an idea. We're gonna bomb a port, and you're gonna have as much ammo as we can shove into your weapons bay. Now, you might ask if what we're doing is really just impractically attacking a shipping harbor for free combat testing for Raytheon's weapons since they are actively lobbying us. Well, welcome to the, I don't know. Make sure to like and subscribe, buy stock in salvage companies, and sacrifice 𝖘𝖆𝖑𝖛𝖆𝖙𝖎𝖔𝖓 I doubt a few times on this mission, but to be completely fair, I suppose there's only one cost to that. Similarly, Lonza gets hit by a missile, and we get a radio call from—
What are you Soyjacks doing in this Kino airspace?
Boyo.
Running down for his perks.
I want to boil his skin off.
Welcome to the annual alleyway crackhead knife fight, except with more discretionary spending this time around. Word of the day, discriminate killing. Because if Scream dies first, Rage gets harder, no big deal, but if Rage goes down, she will go absolutely bananas. Well, send me a postcard then. Ah, it's so cool. So in the next, okay, we're in the debriefing now.
Shit, my cola.
Hey guys, it's me with the guy with Google on his phone. Aruja decided to give the sub-captain yet another nuke and told him to have fun. So yeah, Torres is now completely rogue and gunning for our capital. I'm gonna need you guys to stop him before the sun lands on my house.
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna deploy 4 bombers to drop shard detecting devices. I don't really know what's in them. Also, you, that guy that scares me. We've outfitted your plane with a mobile trace narcotics device to locate high concentrations of smoke PCP, and that's how we're gonna find where to shoot the submarine. So anyways, the first part of the mission is,
How do you fly this thing? It's all in Russian.
since when did we care about human life? Eventually you get to use your Sherm sniffer and locate, okay, there it is. Wait, what's a soy jack? Who's posting call? Let's see. Show the others what it means to be drunk. I don't even use the internet. Welcome to the Ocean Gate fight. I'm here to confiscate his illegal substances with my nose. Whoa! My favorite part of it has to be when he mock surrenders, starts monologuing about how much he wants to nuke people, so you just start killing him again. Overall, I give this DLC a brimstone out of 10. Truly, the West has ballin'. Billions must dunk. Alright, good work on whatever that was. I think Torres escaped through the 𝖘𝖆𝖑𝖛𝖆𝖙𝖎𝖔𝖓 portal, but I don't really care anymore. Right, so we have to get to this airbase where the only way to get to it is to sneak through a canyon. Now please choose a craft capable of stealth and a night operation with the ability to narrowly dodge searchlights without being seen. Yes. Ah, sweet dude, let's go. They're not gonna see it coming. Yeah, they can't see a thing. That makes 2 of us. So you get to the base, start lighting up the joint like Waco, and provide cover for the pizza.
It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Yeah, cool. We're gonna attack the capital of Farbanti now. I know, it sounds Italian, terrifying, but it's just Washington, D.C., don't worry.
Commander, I felt some of you young bucks coming after my championship belt. So I think I'm gonna go out there and run up the score a little bit to show you guys how it's done.
Yeah, that's right. Welcome to a dumb, fun playground. You got an air battle to the left, a ground battle to the right, enemy warships in the far corner, and patrol boats in Brentwood. Brentwood got hit by a meteor. I know, it's hard to tell. Unlike the other missions, you get to choose where you want to engage, how you want to do it, and which Yugoslavian children to atomize. She going Norway on my Swede till I finish. I just love eating arsenic. I can't get enough of this stuff, man.
What doomers decided to invade my capital? If you don't goon it out right now, my yacht waifu is gonna drip King 𝖘𝖆𝖑𝖛𝖆𝖙𝖎𝖔𝖓 Riz until you grimace yourself.
Those are words? The Fonk's mixing up the gimmicks now. You head over to engage Mr. X and the squadron with one instruction: to kill them.
What Steve Cuts animation am I in? The one on that classroom projector? You were supposed to be watching Polar Express that day.
Oceans, You don't stand a chance when I'm pile-maxing.
Yeah, what possesses you to say these things?
Tito's.
Yeah, I can see that.
Of course. Bomb the government.
Cyclops 1 is down. Cyclops 2 is down.
Yeah, that's not good. So this Erusian guy tells us that both Osea and Erusia fired anti-satellite missiles which created a debris field and wiped out everything orbiting around Earth. So I suppose they were just stupid and didn't know that would happen? So now that I can't play Roblox, I suppose I'll just have to fill the void with excessive violence. Welcome, guys. We're not getting any response from higher-ups or, like, anyone outside this briefing room, but I'm pretty sure my higher-ups would want us to get our mole out of there. See, the annexed Erusian territories had enough now that they can't, I don't know, like, use Wi-Fi, I guess. More so than these insurgencies, the Erusian political parties have gotten into a civil war to compete on who can worsen the lives of the poor faster. You are gonna bail out Erusian conservative commander JonTron and get him to the RNC. In this level, you have the nighttime city with yellow lighting, gotta be one of my favorite genders. Given we have no more satellites and our ground units no longer have the ability to tell us not to bomb them, we have to ID all of our targets now. Fortunately, I have a great track record of being cautious with every shot I take. Eventually, you find some Erusians that aren't acting aggressive. Wait, they must also be conservatives, hold on. Attention, we support LGBTQ without the plus.
Holy Fauci, he's based. Right this way, sir.
No, you can't do this to me after what I've been through. You escort Labarthron through highways, tank divisions, inside tunnels with him if you're not a hack. Grunder Park. Grunder's a defense contractor in this universe. Hey mom, I just got enrolled in Raytheon University. Also, it turns out that Count can freely converse with anyone since he has a radio taped into his cockpit for some reason. So you get Labarth onto the trad chopper and go to investigate the enemy civilian airliner. Oh yeah, since there are no other radio signatures to lock onto, you are forced to ominously point your missiles to their head. A test of patience. I didn't do great.
Hey, it's me, cutscene guy from earlier. We're currently...
You gotta be kidding me. Liaison escort has a radar.
Yeah, how deplorable.
Listen, the escorts are drones. They're trying to kill you. They must have detected there's a minority in your squad.
What? So you gun down all the drones, and as you're doing that, some dude from your military shoots down Labarth because he was confused. So, that's cool. Alright. That's the end of the flex tape guy. The old squadron of the scary guy and Count were armed prisoners which were sent to this miserable island as those two were let back into the actual military. They were sent to finish off the totally very small Erusian force settled there. We forgot to check in on their progress when we had Wi-Fi. They should be done by now. We are out of supplies here, so just touch base with our allies on the island and stuff your cockpit with all the White Monster 6-packs that will fit. So you get to the island and help in the botched invasion, turning the tide of the entire battle that was taking 3 months and 12 minutes because Osea's entire battle strategy revolves around one guy's ability to G-lock himself. Political affiliation no longer matters. If they were born in the wrong country, just kill them. Soon, enemy bombers come in to carpet bomb the island, which would inevitably flatten any civilians in the way, so I shot them down out of the goodness of my heart.
Hey, good morning. I'm the woman from those disconnected narrator cutscenes.
The what?
Me and the other refugees, including the Princess of Erusia, somehow are currently being shot at by tanks.
Yeah, what's up for you?
You know we have perks to share, right?
You head into the yellow smoke to protect the parasite refugees, and once you're done with that, you realize this entire time Erusia was just trying to distract you while they launch Snowbird refueling mass drivers, except I killed them too because I accelerate like a Mario Kart AI. Hey! Guys, you may have noticed our enemy committed actual war crimes in the last mission, and that means we are completely justified in doing our own. 𝖘𝖆𝖑𝖛𝖆𝖙 Castle is a culturally significant monument to a long-lost annexed nation. It also holds large amounts of supplies. So here's what you're gonna do. It's time to use my pilot superpowers again. In the midst of their anti-air weapons are refugee tents, so make sure you do- bye. To be fair, I don't think there's a single Ace Combat game where you can't blow up those.
We should probably take off because of the jets above us.
I'm trying to ski jump off of a Kroger parking lot!
Osean fighters, you are in violation of 𝖘𝖆𝖑𝖛𝖆𝖙 airspace and literally vaporizing a historical monument. Please stop.
Oh yeah? How about I kill you? How about that?
What are you doing in my kingdom?
Your what?
My kingdom. The kingdom that I own. The kingdom you are vaporizing. 𝖘𝖆𝖑𝖛𝖆𝖙 is in my name.
I'm not reading all that.
So you can't read. Is your name Count because you don't know how to do that either?
So begins a fight with Giant Railgun Man and his giant railgun. You begin the fight with him and... Oh. I guess he's dead. Alright. Yeah, got it, broski.
To trigger? What does it mean?
I think he wants us to stop the drone production.
Yeah, it's gonna take something else entirely.
Stopping the drones.
I just don't know what.
God, it's the drones! Astral projecting yet again, we get to see more budget mocap of shenaniganery unfurling in the space elevator. That Dr. Schroeder guy from earlier apparently caused all of this. Everything bad that happened. Let me explain. Long ago, in the forgotten time of 1995, there existed the nation of Belka, a fictitious place based on the real, well-known urban legend of the sunken nation of Deutschland. They got into a war where they were up against another mute sociopath called Cypher and his friend called Pixie. Pixie? Pixie. Yeah, no, they didn't do great and decided to nuke themselves 7 times to create a radioactive wall to protect their borders. Needless to say, Pixie upon seeing this goes completely bonkers and develops a mild disdain for the concept of borders itself, but that's besides the point. Yeah, because of the whole nuking themselves thing, Belka doesn't exist anymore, and ethnic Belkans are now taking out their incel gamer rage on every country that is or isn't responsible. So if anything bad happens, the Germans probably did it. Attention gamers, upon deciphering Mihai's cryptic, esoteric message, I believe he wants us to stop the drones. There's this coalition of both Oseans and Erusians, including those weirdo soul dudes, and they want to blow up the space elevator. Now that will end the war, but the issue is with the fully autonomous drones and the other arsenal bird that don't want this happening. These uncontrolled drones are being supported by the war profiteers who want to keep the war going to make money even though no one's paying them and no one even has the ability to pay them anymore. So anyways, we're gonna be hitting the Arsenal Bird's dumb, stupid force field with a Lockheed Martin worth of military equipment and hope that works. In the first half of the mission, we have a lot of enemies and a point requirement. At this point, your body is a well-oiled machine that converts Smirnov into restraining orders, so it's not much of a fight. Then the Arsenal Bird starts to shoot at you, but it forgot one thing. Together, we are the Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown! Yeah, that didn't work.
You really pulled up at the function with the team you fit. Are you feeling the fatal now flesh bases? I'm on my 𝖘𝖆𝖑𝖛𝖆𝖙.
You created white people?
Yes.
Hey, yeah, he's not gonna drop the force field.
Yeah, you know those wireless charging pads? It's like that, but with the big plane and the big tower.
You're a good kilometer apart, that's not how that works.
Yeah, it is, and we're actively hitting the toilet machines with sledgehammers.
Oh, can you not do that? Please hit the clutch and brake next time you're in the freeway. Honestly, I just want to 𝖘𝖆𝖑𝖛𝖆𝖙𝖎 with an auger drill and I don't care about anything else. Seriously, now I'm done.
That thing is intimidating.
That was just disrespectful. I'm already on fire in the
Are those the drones we saw at that factory? I'm coming down. I'll see you on the ground. No, wait!
You really thought this was the end. You really thought there were no more drones, did you?
What did you want about?
Quote, my comrades placed cities wheels to measure the authenticity of the 𝖘𝖆𝖑𝖛𝖆𝖙𝖎, end quote. What you will quote. You may have known about the space elevator's integration properties, but it is also the world's largest cell tower. In 30 minutes, I will have activated the RFID of the Unbridged.
And then one.
Oh, sandwich boy, I don't know, I think it just makes you more racist, but regardless, once I'm done uploading this, the endless war will begin. Hit it, brother.
Missile inbound! Cosette!
What? I'm gonna kill the robots! In all seriousness, the game is really good at making you feel important, making me feel special, making me feel like that guy from the Ballad of Badlands Chugs. There's also this Microsoft Paint UX design with the word nation being crossed out with Trigger's 3 strikes. It's really stupid, but I guess it's cool. I know, the video's melting into a video essay. I bet you can tell because of the length. Huh. Torres was onto something, wasn't he?
I'm leaving. Get
Oh, I'm not done with you!
Look, it's Trigger.
Anyways, the epilogue plays, and the space elevator was repurposed to make fuel. Mihai is now a vegetable, and Trigger can now live the rest of his life with chronic neck and back pain. Also, I still suck at the multiplayer. What did he do? What did he hit me with?
Je